Welcome to the General Structures 2 and Lateral Forces Lesson 1 quiz, question number 2. And it is asking, probably should have started on the page. Alright. Of the structural systems listed below, which does not resist load by two-way flexural action? We have A, B, C, and D. And two-way flexural action is a general rule of thumb is saying that here's a plan view, and anything that's over 2 to 1 I would say is a one-way slab. For instance, if you have something that looks like such, it's a framing system, and these are beams. Let's say it's just a steel framing system. These are beams. These are what I would call girders, and then you've got columns as well. And they're on both sides. And let's say this is 30 foot, and this is 10 foot. I would say that this is one-way action, that your distributed loads look like this. You would take the distributed load there. So this is the distributed load for this beam right here. It has a 10-foot distributed load, or not distributed load, distributed width. So that's the distributed area. And this beam right here, right here would, that's way off. Its distributed area would look like that. So as you can see, it's going one way. It's being distributed this one way. On the other hand, a two-way slab does not do that, and it's for anything, rule of thumb, well, there might be an actual rule as well, I'll have to look that up, is anything if it's 1 to 1, if this is let's say this is 10 foot and this is 10 foot, and you have a column here, you have a column here, and these are just beams that connect the four, and they all are equal height, if that makes any sense. These are, the top of this beam is equal elevation with the top of this beam and this beam and this beam. They're all equal elevation. That the distributed area will look more like this, like that. That's what the distributed area will look like. So you'll have this for this beam, it'll look like that. I'm only going to do two beams, and this beam it'll look like that. Alright, so that's what two-way is. And it actually, if you go up to, let's say it's right below 20 foot to 10 foot, it'll start to look like this. Well, this goes at a 1 to 1. So for this beam, your distributed area, or let's say this is 19 foot rather. So it's getting close to 2 to 1. This would be that beam's, this beam right here's distributed area, and so on and so forth. This beam right here would have a distributed area right there, and whatnot. So what is which one of these are not? So which one is one way? Which one's going to be showing one-way action? So let's go take a look at the answers. Answer to A is flat plate, and if you go back to page 19, you can see that those are about equally spaced, and I'm going to say that this is definitely two-way, so I would not say that would be a one-way system. I go on to B, which is a rigid frame, and for the most part I say yes. The way a rigid frame works is, looking at it in one direction, is you have a frame like so. Let's say this is a pin, this is a pin, it doesn't have to be. Or there's your frame, and this is, let's say you have an I-beam here, you have an I-beam here, and then you have another I-beam connecting there, and those are rigid. This is a moment connection. Whoa, sorry about that. And this is a moment connection. And the way that works is it will you could make an argument, but will typically go one way. So I would say, yes, this is likely. But let's go ahead and look at C and D and see what they are. C is a flat slab. And once again, I would say that no, similar to the flat plate, this is going to be for more of a two-way system. And then D, a waffle slab. And if you look at the waffle slab, it looks like it's two-way as well. The only slab type system, if you look at the one-way slab, and the way I would see it is you would put these rigid frames. You'd have I'm going to try to do a concrete. Here's your rigid frame. It would look something like that. Once again, this is not going to be the best picture ever. Alright, and then you'd have another frame right here. Then you'd have the slab on top of them. It would be the rigid frames, I would say, is more similar to a one-way slab on page 19 as compared to anything else. So we said the waffle slab. It looks like it's two-way as well, and therefore I would agree with B being our answer. And I haven't been checking my answers to question number 1. I'm just assuming I'm correct. Let me go ahead and go to the back and make sure I am. Let's check our answers. Okay, go to page. What's way back here? 165, I believe. Sure. And it says that my first answer was B, flat plate, flat slab, and waffle slab are two-way systems. Oh no, that's 2. So yes, we're correct. The answer is B. Flat plate, flat slab, and waffle slab are two-way systems. See page 13. Rigid frame is a one-way system. See page 11. And I would encourage you to go take a read through that section right there, because it does offer some very good information. The second half of lesson number 1 it doesn't have any example questions, but it does have some good information. And it said to question 1, the answer was D. Let's see if we got that right. I don't remember what it was. Yes, we put D. The answer was 1 and 4, which was D. All right. I will see you on question number 3.